Jim Setzer with Images by Design. I've recently just started to try my hand at doing some of these YouTube product review videos. I'm having a lot of fun doing it. I've posted a few, getting some good reviews. I hope to do a lot more of these, as well as some photography tips and tricks videos and some of the do-it-yourself things that I've done over the years I think might be interesting as well. I also have Denise from Healthy Living with Denise. Yeah, and so we're doing videos for her. Tell us about your videos, Denise.
Yeah, so I've already made a video, a healthy hemp protein video, and although the content was really good, the noise or the sound was a little
distracting.
Yeah,
so what we found was, just like many people starting out in this area, is trying to get the audio to work through the built-in microphones on DSLR cameras, which is what I'm using here, is it's subpar. And in order for people to really get the message and really concentrate on your video and not the poor sound quality, we decided we needed to do something a little bit better than the little built-in stereo mics in this camera. So I took a first stab at it. I got a little sub $100 kit off of eBay, maybe it was Amazon, and the audio quality was just awful. I just returned the thing after just trying a couple of minutes. I realized it just wasn't for me. What I'd really like to do is go spend my money and buy one of those $2,000 Sennheiser wireless radio kits, but from a business perspective, it just doesn't make any sense. I mean, you make pennies per thousand on these videos, and so the business model doesn't support diving into that as your first real wireless microphone system. So I went back to doing a lot of research, and some of my requirements included, well, I needed a kit that could have two microphones, because sometimes we do videos together. I wanted to be able to have the receiver and the mixer and all that stuff located on camera, so I could do all that nearby in case we go out on the road. I wanted to make that whole system very simple. Some of these radio systems have those separate modules and they all plug together and it looks like this giant spaghetti pile on top of your camera. I didn't want that. I wanted something a little rugged. I expect this to last a couple of years, even with maybe some drops and falls on hard surfaces and stuff. And so I wanted something rugged. I wanted all those things. Most importantly, I wanted good, clean, dynamic range sound quality without a lot of radio interference, without a lot of problems. So I went back and I found this kit that I think is really going to fit the bill. I'm hoping is going to fit the bill for us. So I didn't know much about this company, but I got a lot of good reviews that I heard on it. So this is the Saramonic UwMic10 kit, which includes two body pack transmitters with lapel mics and this dual receiver module that does the mixing as well as clips on top with a hot shoe and feeds the camera with just one simple cable. I'm excited to try this out. We're going to see how this works in a number of different spaces, including the photo studio here, my office where we do a lot of unboxings, and we'll do that there, as well as down in the kitchen where we do most of Denise's videos, and that's the hardest space because it's a big space with a lot of hard surfaces. It's probably the most grueling spot for us to try to get good quality audio. So we're going to open this up, we're going to take a look at it, we're going to check out the controls, see how this thing operates, we're going to try it out in these different environments and kind of wrap it all up with a comparison with how this thing operates, more importantly sounds, compared to just the standard built-in mic with the camera. How's that sound, Denise?
It sounds like a plan.
Okay, let's give it a shot. Let's go open this thing up. All right, now that we mastered that seal, let's take this thing out of the box. Here's the inner box. It's made of layers of cardboard, which I think is great. Very eco-friendly. Let's see. Oh yeah, and it makes some nice trays here. Wow, I think I really like this packaging. If you wanted to, you could throw this whole thing in the recycle bin, save these full plastic bags. I like that. Very responsible, very creative. Up top here, there's a little pocket for your user guide. I'm a guy, so I won't be using that unless I absolutely have to. Down here we've got a lapel microphone, another lapel mic. I like that they've got the screw down so these don't accidentally just pop out in the middle of an interview. Great. Here's a stereo output to XLR or Canon connector in case you're going to plug this into a PA system or a soundboard. Here's your 3.5mm stereo output to for your camera in case you're shooting this on a DSLR. We have a hot shoe adapter, so you can clip the receiver onto the top of your DSLR camera. Very, very common way of using this. We've got some clips for the body pack. There's a third one in the bag in case you wanted to have the receiver as a clip-on as well. It's nice to have those options. I think this is one of, this is one of the body pack transmitters. And wow, I can see where people were saying these are heavy. These are really heavy. It's cold, so I'm figuring that this is maybe made of cast aluminum, which is great. These things should stand up to just any kind of pounding we put them through. Very flexible rubber ducky antenna. Over here we've got a battery tray. Very nice. I like that. And let's see, we've got the second body pack transmitter in the kit there. Exact same thing. And this should be the receiver, which it is. The only difference is you have this headphone jack in case you want to monitor this directly from the receiver, and you have your output jack for your PA system or your camera or whatever it is you're going to actually record this audio with. Very good. Again, rugged aluminum, exact same style. So that's what comes in the kit. Great. Let me put some batteries in a few of these and we'll come back and take a look at these controls, see how they work. I want to pay attention to this one little design feature. That's these wire clips that snap into place on the metal body on both the body packs and the receiver. On the body packs, this design seems to work well. It clips to a belt or a waistband or a pocket on the talent's wardrobe, and that seems to work fine. But that same wire clip is designed to hold in this hot shoe adapter on the receiver. It's supposed to snap into this little slot right here, but unfortunately that design doesn't even allow it to hold up its own weight. It just slides right out. So if you're going to use this, or want to use this hot shoe adapter, either the hot shoe mount or the screw, you're going to have to hold this in place with a piece of gaffer's tape or maybe a rubber band or some other method to lock this thing down so it just doesn't slide out and away. Not really sure I like that design. The receiver controls are pretty straightforward. You have a power button, a set button, and a plus and minus button to scroll up and down. A long press on the power button turns the unit on. My apologies, my hand model is on vacation this week, so you get a look at my ugly fingers for this part of the review. The display is broken down into a couple different sections. You've got your Group A settings here, your Group B settings there. Up in the corner there's a battery life indicator. Within the group settings, this tells you the A group settings. At the top there's a radio signal strength meter. Middle part tells you what channel that particular group is currently in. Down below, this little highlighted A here tells me that radio is on. The B one is off, tells me out of the box the B radio has been turned off. And if I have a microphone plugged into the system, this little rectangle down here is a signal strength meter, audio signal strength meter. Use these up and down buttons to scroll through the various options. It shows me the serial number, the version number. If I want to restore this to factory defaults, backlight mode. I've changed this to on for the sake of this demo. It came out of the box set for 10 seconds before the backlight turns off. I turned it to on so we don't have to worry about that for the few minutes we're going to be looking at this. You get a number of settings for each of the groups, including frequency information, channel information, and volume settings, and then you get the same set of options for Group A. For instance, out of the box it's set to output in mono, and I'd like to output that in stereo since my camera has a stereo input. So I'm going to press and hold the set button. The word mono gets highlighted, and now I can use the up and down buttons to scroll through the options. And in this case there's only two options, mono or stereo. I'm going to highlight it stereo, press the set button again, and now that option's been changed. The body pack controls are identical. A long press on the power button turns on the unit. Same set and plus minus buttons. And out of the box you can see this is set for for Group A, channel 1, and on the receiver you can see the radio power indicator is at full power, telling me these two are paired and ready to go. So if I take and plug a microphone into this body pack and talk into that microphone, I get an audio level indicator on the receiver. So there you go. That's pretty easy to set that up in a single pack configuration. Now let's see what it takes to bring in the second body pack. What I'll need to do first is change this body pack from Group A to Group B. So I'll start on the transmitter side. I'm going to scroll through my settings until I find my group option. And this says Group A, so I'm going to press and hold this set button until Group A is highlighted. Change that to says Group B, press the set button. Now this is transmitting on Group B, but if you notice there's no radio power indicator. That's because by default the B channel radio is turned off on the receiver. So we need to now go to scroll through the settings. It says powered off. I'm going to press and hold the set button until the power off is highlighted. Change this to power on, press set, and now it's turned on. And you can see by my radio signal strength meter I'm getting full strength there. So now if I take that same microphone and plug it in, I should be getting audio signal on the B channel, which I am. Great. All that's left to bring in and make this full 2-mic system working is to fire up the last body pack transmitter. Like I said, out of the box by default it's set for channel A. You can see on the receiver channel A radio signal meter is full strength as well. Now we have a full system up and operating. Did that seem too easy? Well, I'll tell you, the first time I set this up, it didn't go quite as easily as you saw here. The radios did not automatically pair with the receiver, and I had to go in and using the menus to ensure that the base frequency of the group as well as the channel number matched between the two of them. That's one way to force them to see each other and pair properly. It also has an infrared option where you can set the transmitter and receiver into a pair with the other one mode and press the set keys simultaneously, and it'll use this LED as an infrared port to negotiate those RF information and pair them up. But what I found after playing with these a little bit is the best way I found to ensure that they're going to work out of the box, similar to what you just saw, was just factory reset the units. They seem to come and pair very natively, very easily whenever I did a factory reset, and then all I had to do was worry about changing the group number on the one, and it was great. If you live in an area that you have some radio interference with the base frequency or the particular channel that it chooses, I would use that pairing function, especially if you're not familiar with how radio frequencies work, especially spread spectrum like these things have. Let's make this review a bit of a self-licking ice cream cone. I'm going to move this unit out of the way. I'm going to actually clip this thing on and wear it. The first thing I want to mention is this clips on these lapel mics. They're really nice and strong. They're metal clips. That's going to be great for a men's wool jacket, but it's going to be much too strong if you've got a lady's silk blouse. So if you're going to have a situation where you're not sure what kind of costumes your talent is going to be wearing, I'd get a couple more of these. They're a couple dollars. They range. You know, you can get some really nice ones for 20 bucks. You can get cheap ones on eBay for $3 or $4. But I'd get some with a nice light plastic clip, so you're not damaging somebody's wardrobe. So let me clip that on. I'm wearing a nice cotton t-shirt. I don't care. And I'm going to move that off camera. And move that out of the way. There we go. And I've got a nice long stereo cable. I'm going to plug in output. And I'm going to plug this into the stereo input port of my camera. So my apologies if you hear some ugly loud noises for a second as I plug this in. And I'm not quite sure how the audio level is. My chances are the audio level by default is going to be too high for this camera. So let's see what happens as I plug this in. Mic check, mic. Oh yeah, that's much too high. So very carefully I'm going to come in here and scroll through the buttons till I find channel B, volume. Hold and set button. It's set to 27. I'm going to take it down to 22 and let's see what that's like. Mic check, mic check. Okay, so now the audio volume indicator on my camera is much better. I'm only getting a minor clipping. I think maybe 21 might be the perfect setting, but this will be fine for now. So here's my first audio comparison check. I've got the microphone on right now. I'm getting good audio levels according to my audio meter, maybe a tad bit of clipping. Like I said, maybe you need to drop that down 1 or 2 more steps just to be perfect. Now I'm going to take and I'm going to unplug that. You're now listening to the audio input on the built-in mics on my camera, and this is about optimum for them because I'm standing about a foot away from those microphones and talking in a regular voice. Let me plug the mic system back in. And now I'm back on microphone. Those of you who have stereo at home might tell I'm now on the left channel only. Next, we'll take this kit into the photo studio. We'll bring Denise back and we'll do some comparative tests between this audio solution and the built-in mics in the camera. That first audio test was in my home office. Pretty much ideal conditions for the onboard mics in the camera. Now we're out here in the photo studio, hopefully to do some tips and tricks videos, those kinds of things. So it's really important we have good audio in this space. It's a bigger space, a lot more echoey. And so Denise, welcome back and tell us what we're doing in the photo studio tonight.
So this evening we are working on my before and after photos of my Nerium product. As you can see, we're trying to mimic the photo.
Yeah, we took this in San Francisco back in June. It was a foggy day, so very soft light. Trying to emulate that in the studio is a little bit tricky. Let me go ahead and plug in the wireless microphone kit and see if we can hear the difference in this space. Mic check, mic check. Hopefully we have a lot less echo in the audio now. So Denise, what do you like about being my model?
Oh, sure. Put me on the spot while we're on the camera. I like being your model. I just think it's a lot of hard work.
And you don't get paid.
Well, that's true.
Yeah. Okay, let's review a couple of things I did and didn't like about this kit, and then we'll take this all downstairs into the hardest space of all, the kitchen set, where everything's a hard surface and it's a much bigger room. So far, what do I like and not like about this kit? I think the body packs are really nice that metal housing is going to make them very durable. They have the right number of controls. You can use the power button to mute, or you can lock the power button so that your talent doesn't accidentally turn it off. I didn't find any downside to the body pack so far. On the receiver end, I do like the fact that it's nice and compact, that both radio receivers are built into this one little unit. You don't have lots of wires everywhere. Single wire connection to your recording camera or whatever. And I do like that, but that comes with some downside too. You can see I did put the rubber band on the clip there to keep the pack from falling, and it does seem to do that well. The other thing is, when you mount that up on your hot shoe on your camera, of course now you can't see this display. It's pointed up at the ceiling, so unless the camera's mounted really low, you're going to have to stand on your toes in order to even attempt to read that, or you're going to be constantly pulling it on and off your hot shoe. I didn't like that. So to solve that problem, I just mounted this quick clamp 1/4 screw, which is just a camera mount screw, onto my tripod, and I put it down there, and that works out really well. It's out of the way when I've got my eye to the viewfinder, and I can easily glance down and get an indication of how the radio signal and the audio signal are doing. I like that position very well, so that's going to work out well for me. I really wish though I had dedicated knobs for the volume controls. Different talent may change the volume of their voice, or you may be trying to record other things where the volume goes up and down, and just thumbing through these buttons here just isn't fast enough to be able to affect a quick change to the audio levels, and so that's a little bit cumbersome. Wish I had that, but can't have everything. Now we come to a much more difficult space. This is our kitchen set. It's a much bigger room. It's very echoey. There's nothing but hard surfaces here. And as you can hear from the camera mics, it just sounds terrible. And so we'll be testing this space out. Denise, tell us what you got cooking for dinner.
So for dinner tonight, I'm slow cooking chicken fajitas in the crock pot behind me, and let me tell you, it smells delicious.
It does smell very good. Let me turn on these mics. We'll talk a little bit more and see how it goes. Okay, I've plugged in our mics. Hopefully you're getting much better sound quality. So Denise, tell us what's in your chicken fajita crockpot recipe.
So my chicken fajitas have chicken, of course, onion, green pepper, mushrooms, and to make it a little bit more paleo style, I add a little bit of coconut oil.
And I put in some achiote oil because I love that stuff.
And I added some garlic and some chipotle.
Yeah, it smells really, really good, and I'm getting hungry. So let's wrap up this review of the Saramonic UwMic10 system. If you found this review informative or interesting, please give me a like. If you are interested in following some of the other product reviews I've got in the pipeline, you can click subscribe. And you can find me on imagesbydesign.org.
And you can find me at healthylivingwithdenise.com.
Take care.